Y'all, Wizard101 just revealed that they're about to update a feature that they haven't touched in years. Basically, right, there was a KI live yesterday that people that work on this game went live and revealed a lot of what's upcoming. And one thing that really piqued my interest, they are going to be auditing fishing for the first time in years. We haven't had new fish in the game since Chrysalis. We haven't had a rewarding reason to fish in even longer than that. But yes, officially, fishing is getting an update. Now, before we dive right into everything that's going to be changing with fishing, I wanted to talk about the current state of fishing because I think it's somewhat abysmal, somewhat pathetic. Every reason that people once had to fish has really fallen off a cliff. I'd argue there are three main things you would fish for, and all of them have gotten worse over time because of the lack of updates. One thing you can do with fish is that you can sell them. However, when there's less and less new fish that they're putting out and more high gold things that you can get from other sources as other updates come out, this feature gets worse and worse over time. As it stands, fishing for gold is really good at low level, but it really loses a lot of its allure later. A long time ago, and a lot of people don't know this, the second reason why you might have wanted to fish was to actually craft a useful snack. This is one of many examples of pet snack recipes that you can buy in Grizzleheim. I really like this one because, again, early game, it's like really good, especially if you don't have mega snacks. But there's a lot of recipes like this that involve fish that you could basically use with readily available reagents that you could buy from the bazaar and TCs that are easy to buy as well. Right, a 17 XP snack for getting a very common death fish from all over the spiral. That's a pretty cool thing. However, the best snack recipe that existed also got nerfed a while ago. If y'all remember the blackberry jellyfish recipe, it looked literally just like this, but instead of bonefish, it would be like blackberry jellyfish. And the snack that you could actually craft were golden wheat breads. Now, golden wheat breads are even better than the 17 XP that the bonefish snack is. It's 40 XP, but they nerfed the drop rate of blackberry jellyfish because of how many people were crafting this snack so readily. And the third reason you might want to fish is honestly something that probably has less tangible benefits, but you might just be a collector. You might want to build gigantic aquariums that involve every single rare and epic fish in the game like me. This is an aquarium that I've been working on for a few months, and believe it or not, I've actually collected every single fish that there is to collect in the game outside of seasonal fish. There's 26 pages of fish in my angler's tome, meaning I've literally caught all of these, including some very epic fish. But here's the thing, if you don't update the fishing feature, anybody that has a goal of collecting all the fish will eventually hit the point where they're successful and they will no longer keep doing it. So here's what Wizard101 revealed on the KI Live. They're going to be starting slow. They're going to be starting with housing specifically, and they're going to be adding more and more unique things that you can get for fishing. They also said that after they revisit all the pools and all the different houses, which by the way, all of them do have unique fish, if y'all know about the doodle fish, right? Every single doodle fish in the game is uniquely from a different castle. They, again, stopped adding fish to new castles, but this is something that is the only thing that's unique about housing pools. I think they're going to be adding housing items, cosmetics, all kinds of things like that. And then they're also going to revisit, confirmed, the main world pools, adding fish to more recent worlds and revisiting pools that don't have any unique loot outside of just the fish that you catch. Now, this little unique loot thing that they're talking about is really exciting because if y'all don't know, another major reason people might fish, but this is more of a one-time thing, some pools drop really cool cosmetics like the Umbra Blade from the Elephant Graveyard. You can get this by fishing into chests. There's also different mounts that drop in various houses. We might be seeing a world where they add more and more cosmetics and more mounts that we can get. I would really love if, as a rare occurrence, you could get stat mounts, even more cosmetics like this from different parts of the game that they've added since they stopped updating fishing. I think a great place to start, if they're open for suggestion, is all of these 30-day mounts from Scroll of Fortunes. If y'all don't know, there's a lot of cool mounts that drop from, I guess, Wizard101's version of the battle pass, right? For example, this little mug one, you actually get this, I want to say, for doing this, the tier 8 of the current Scroll of Fortune. But what I've noticed about all of these is that none of them are permanent. They're really cool, but they're they're guaranteed to be done. And the only permanent versions of these we've ever seen has been through really expensive crowns rewards, meaning you have to spend like tens of thousands of crowns at a limited time in order to get a permanent version of some really, really cool mounts that they've clearly put a lot of resources into. I would love if, as part of their audit of fishing, they start adding all of these rare cosmetic items. I would love to see mounts. I'd love to see retired gear sets. I would love to see wands and even more cosmetics than the ones that we're used to from Elephant Graveyard. And maybe this is controversial, but there's a lot of gear set mounts. There's a lot of stat giving mounts. These things currently are viewed as big barriers to entry, definitely pay to win, especially when you're talking about the competitive part of the game, PvP. I would love to see all of these fishable, right? If they're gonna audit the Azteca house, I would love these Primeval Horde Pack mounts to be fishable. They do not have to be readily available. I think, honestly, the excitement of getting a rare drop, especially one that costs crowns, is worth making it rare. I think fishing is the one side activity where they can fully justify making something obscenely rare, because that's the whole point of fishing, right? It's for that insane moment where you finally get what you're going for, and hopefully everything you catch along the way is somewhat passively rewarding as well, right? You can sell some stuff, you might get other cosmetics that you weren't initially aiming for, right? That's, I think, really the allure of fishing. Now, while the only confirmed change that is incoming is that we're gonna see more unique loot, I would also love to see the current fish that we already have in the game be more useful. I'm sure a lot of people that have had any interaction with fishing, y'all have probably caught like the fire kudas and the life kudas, like, right? The really, really common fish. And if y'all don't know, what they've really done with a lot of these super common fish is make them into a part of a recipe where you can make things like tapestries. Sometimes you could even make keeper aquariums, right? Like, for example, if you get a bunch of life kudas, you could actually make a regular keeper aquarium, right? So, like, there's some uses of these things, sometimes just that are only fishing related if you really think about things like aquarium. But I really think the idea of using recipes with fish, it's kind of died out for some reason. I've seen very, very like few examples, few and far between. But I think considering how rare some of these fish are, you could totally justify adding all kinds of things. I genuinely think they could make a whole new template and make it something that you can get through fishing, something that competes with things like raid gears, things like the new Darkmoor gear. I'm talking at level 180, but also not just limited to that level. If they're really serious about a fishing audit, I would love to see more recipes with fish as well. While I'm very, very excited about what they're talking about in terms of increasing the amount of unique loot from all these housing pools and all these main world pools, while that's exciting, I still think that the recipe part of all of this is really, really not fleshed out. I think the best part about the fact that they're even considering this is that on paper, it clearly will be profitable for Wiz if they make highly sought after items from fishing. And that's simply because of energy being the limiting factor, right? You're definitely gonna have people fish every day until they're out of energy. You're also definitely gonna have people that are down to put on their full energy sets, buy some energy elixirs. These are 250 crowns, but if 250 crowns gives you, you know, like like 20, 30 attempts at getting something rare, people are very down for that, right? I really like that idea. I think it's a much, much better way to monetize the purchases of the player, right? Like, actually make some sought after items that involve very small purchases, or you could just wait. You don't have to buy energy. You can just wait until your energy refills to fish for what you want to get, right? It's like a very non-predatory way of monetizing really, really cool things. I would rather Wiz does that than just gatekeep a bunch of really rare stuff behind Scroll of Fortunes with limited time things, crowns rewards, packs, right? While those are fine for people that want to go that route, I would love if fishing was the alternative, as in you could very rarely get stuff from fishing regardless of where you fish. Maybe one pool gives you one rare item, another pool gives you another rare item. It would just be cool if that was an avenue to get rare stuff and not just crowns like we're kind of used to, especially when it comes to the highest end loot. But hopefully this video did a good job showing y'all why the current state of fishing is not really anything that you know, anyone really cares about, especially if you've gotten what you've wanted out of fishing. But it's really, really cool. I never thought I'd see them do a fishing audit. I really thought that they were done really revisiting features that have been more or less abandoned. I feel like there's so many features like that, not just fishing. But this actually might be a good sign for other things that got abandoned as well, like gardening, I would argue, like also monstrology for the people that do monstrology, And also, like Pet Derby, right? There's even things like Pet Derby that they just abandoned. And I would love to see what they have to say about those as well, because those are all parts of the game that we all grew to love way back in the day. Believe it or not, y'all, there are other things that they did talk about in the KI Live. I wanted to make sure that I properly researched it, properly made a good video on it. But the fishing stuff, I got a good idea of where they were coming from, and I actually happen to know a decent bit enough about fishing. So that's why I wanted to talk about this first. But definitely turn on noties so you don't miss the next video, because there will be more to cover about this KI Live. But I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts. What do y'all think about the current state of fishing? What would y'all like to see them do with this audit that is now confirmed? Where would y'all like to see fishing go as a side activity? I look forward to reading all of y'all's thoughts in the comments. Drop a like if you enjoyed. Leave a sub if you're new. And as always, if somebody hasn't told her awesome today, they doing something wrong. Stay awesome, y'all. See y'all soon. And yeah.